Hi guys, so somebody asked me to create a robot that can potentially trade Boom 1000 and show you how you can possibly do that using the free EA builder that I showed you yesterday, which is go and check out the video from yesterday if you do not know what I'm talking about. So I'll give you a moment to just go back and check out the video from yesterday. Otherwise, you can then come back and just with an understanding of what we are talking about. So somebody said I should probably show you how you can probably use the same thing to trade boom and crash. Many people love to trade boom and crash in terms of synthetic indices. There are many other synthetic indices that you can trade, but it seems volatility and boom and crash are the most popular ones. So we would want to see if we can create a robot that can potentially trade boom. Let's not try to get ahead of ourselves and try to create a robot that trades boom and crash at the same time. Of course, with a few tweaks, then you can easily achieve that. For now, we just want to trade boom. We'll essentially catch spikes on boom, but generally we just want to trade boom, and we want to just trade it in one direction. The direction of the spikes for boom is normally what? Going up. It's booming, it goes up. When it's crashing, it's the spike down. That's why it's called a crash. So in this example, you can use this knowledge well for as a basis for the other things that you might want to potentially do with your own robots. This is just an example. I'm not saying that this thing is going to work and you are going to make a lot of money and you are going to ride in the sunset, a millionaire and stuff like that. No. This is just me just showing you how you can possibly do that, because we all know boom and crash are some of the craziest pairs that you can trade because of spikes, especially if you're going to be trading the 1 minute. These spikes, they intrigue people so much. They want to catch these spikes. So first things first, my thinking on how to potentially catch these spikes is I don't want to catch these spikes when the market is going down, when the market is trending down, because my spikes are going to go up. I want to go with the flow of the market. I don't know if it makes sense. The spikes, they go up. So if I'm counting on catching the spikes, I want to create a robot that goes up. I keep missing somewhere on my chart. So what I'm saying is, in order for me to catch spikes, my easiest way, my theory, the easiest way to be catching spikes is to go with the flow. When it is boom, the spikes are going up. So you want to catch the spikes when the trend itself is what is going up. You don't want to try and catch spikes when the trend is going down, because you get lots and lots of these retracement smaller candles. Of course, there are spikes in there, but the majority of the candles that you're going to get are actually these smaller candles that are going down, so which is a bad way to try and catch spikes, because they will be smaller. But when the market is trending up, ideally the spikes are going to be larger. So that's the concept around it. So how do we actually catch these spikes? The concept is that we are probably going to look at candles. we are probably going to look at candles. Of course, disclaimer, don't come in the comment sections and start complaining and saying this thing. There is no 100% guarantee or even a chance that this is going to work. So don't come into the comment sections and try to roast me and crucify me. I'm just showing you a concept. So don't crucify me and saying this thing that you created does not work and stuff like that. If you have something that a strategy that's working for you, well, the platform is there. You can easily go and do it yourself. So my concept is, and I'm just picking a random idea here. What we want is the robot to look at the previous candle. Let's zoom in. Is this where I was? I think it is. So what we want is for the robot to look at this candle and compare it with this candle. So we want to look at the previous candle closer. If you know the anatomy of candles, because these are bearish candles, the top part will be the opening price and the bottom part is going to be the closing price. So the basic premise is when the closing price is actually equal or lower than the open price of the next candle, this bullish candle, it needs to open a buy. You see what? Can I explain that again? If you do not get it, just rewind the video and understand it a bit better. We are saying our theory is just a theory. There's no guarantee that it's going to work. There's no guarantee that it's going to work. So what we want is, and you can see a small tail in there. You can see a small tail in there. So basically what we want is, because this is a bearish candle, the top part is the open price for the candle, and the bottom part is the close price of the candle, and that little tail obviously is going to be the low. If we had a little tail on the top there, it was going to be the high. So the concept will be that the closing price of this bearish candle needs to be equal to the opening price of this bullish candle, or it needs to be lower than the open price of this bullish candle, so that we know that there's a move that is going up. This will be the opening price of this bullish candle, and that will be its closing price, and that will be the low of the bullish candle, and the tail at the top will be the high of the bullish candle. But our concept is to catch these spikes and start going up with them. What we want to do is we want to compare this closing price for the bearish candle and the opening price of the bullish candle. The discrepancy in that, must tell us whether we have a spike that happened or not. Again, it's just a theory. It's not guaranteed to work. If you've traded boom and crash, you know that there are no certainties. It might sound good on paper, but I promise you, this bullish candle, sometimes they happen in a flash. Not even a robot can respond. But anyway, it's just a theory. So how would we code a robot to do something like that? That's how we are going to do it today. Whether it works or it doesn't, at least you get an idea of how you can also probably trade the spikes on boom and crash. So let's quickly go to our EA builder with that knowledge. Okay, so we are back with the EA builder that we were using yesterday, and again we are going to start from a clean slate. So for the buy condition, we said we are going to be trading boom 1000 or boom 500 or whatever. We are going to be trading boom. This robot is going to specifically trade boom. So I'm not looking for sales. I'm not looking to trade these retracement candles as such. I don't care about them. What we are looking for is just these spikes going up. The spikes going up. So that's the kind of the premise for our robot, and we only want to use this robot when we are sure that we have a trend that's going up. We don't want to use this robot when we are in a downtrend and things are not going in our favor, because we are going to be caught in these long retracement candles. Of course, you might have one of these or one of those, but you see in the long term, you don't want to be trying to catch spikes in a downtrend. So you want to ideally only look for spikes when it's an uptrend. So going back to our EA builder, we are only going to be interested in buys, and we are going to be interested in how we are going to close those buys. We are not going to worry about opening sales. You can easily do the same thing for crash, perhaps, and just use open sell, close sell, and then your options and the expert code generator there. So the first thing that we want to do, we said we are looking at candles. So we are going to compare the closing price of a previous candle. So we are going to choose the price, the candle close of the previous candle. Let's just put the shift to 0. Again, it's just a theory. I've not even tested this theory. I'm just giving you a random theory that we think might work. So the close price of the previous candle needs to be lower. We said it either needs to be lower or equal to the opening price of the spike candle. So it needs to be lower. The closing price of the previous candle needs to be lower than the open price, the open of our new candle. That's our first condition. That's a condition for a buy. Or we can actually add another condition. We can actually say the previous candle, the price, we are looking at the low. If it does have a tail, it also needs to be lower than the open price of our current candle, of our new candle. Or we can say also, maybe we can add I thought I added in there. Okay, I omitted something there. So another condition, we can say maybe we are looking at the candle close of that previous candle, which needs to be equal to the open price of our new candle. That's what we are looking at. That's basically what these are probably the theory. This is probably our theory in a nutshell. Is this going to work? I don't know. I don't think so. Probably will, probably will not. But well, it's going to be fun doing it, and you're probably going to learn something as we do this. So then that's our buy condition, and we are also going to put some conditions for closing the buy. So to close the buy, either you put in conditions or you probably leave it out, because what we are aiming to do is to actually catch this trend. So probably you might want to have a close a buy condition, or you are going to close the trades manually. It's up to you. If you want to close the trades, again, I forgot to put something there. So you can see it's a helpful platform. You can easily do these things, and it will tell you when you have mistakes. So to close a buy, we are probably going to want to do the opposite, which is, for example, if it opens a buy, we want to look at when these start forming. When these start forming, so this tail, let's zoom in. So we have a tail there, which is the high, and this will be the close of the bullish candle. This will be the close of the bullish candle, and the tail there will be the high, and we want to compare it with the open of this candle. So if basically the open of the next candle is lower than the high of the bullish candle, or is lower than or equal to the close of the bullish candle, we want to just close that trade. That's basic closing thinking. So again, if you are not understanding or following what I'm saying, just rewind the video and try and understand what I'm saying. So in order to close our trade, our buy trade, we want to be looking at this candle and compare it with that candle. The moment we see that the opening price of this bearish candle is lower than the high, which is the tail of this bullish candle, we know that we are now in these smaller candles. That's kind of what we are looking at. It doesn't work all the time, because sometimes you get it does that. For example, here it means that we had a candle that opened this way and went that way. That's the difficulties of trading boom and crash. But still, either you close your trades manually or you do it this way. So we are going to look at the previous candle high, which needs to be above or greater, which needs to be greater than the current candle open. Again, we just put a 0 there. You can play around with these things, and we are saying the previous candle close also needs to be greater than the open of our new candle, or we can say our previous candle close needs to be equal to our new candle open. Then we know that we have those retracement candles. Does this mean that this robot is going to work? Nah, I don't know. It's just a concept that I'm trying to put into a robot, and you, by the way, are learning something as well. Okay, so we have a buy condition and how to close our buy condition. Again, if you are missing anything, if I'm talking too fast, please rewind the video and see if you can understand what I'm saying. Then we go to options. Okay, so now we got to generate our code like we did yesterday, and you already know when we come here we just go to generate MQL5. Generate MQL5, that will be the code around our Forex robot. I don't know if it's going to work, but anyway, so it's by default named close open law EA, but maybe let's give it a cool name. Let's call it dark side. Should have called it Darth Vader or something. Dark side EA. And we click save. That's our Darkside EA code downloaded. So now we are going to go and test it. Okay guys, so that's our Darkside EA. By the way, if you are not sure of how then we got to this point to make sure that our Darkside EA can show on our navigator, I've linked the video of how to compile the MQL5 code that would have downloaded from that builder, how to compile it into a working robot. So go ahead and watch that video. Otherwise, now it's here, so we simply drag it and we drop it in. That's our Darkside EA, and we go to inputs. We just leave for now everything at 0. Otherwise, we click on OK, and we make sure that our algo trading is activated. And exciting times, let's see if, but my challenge at the moment is that we are in a downtrend.